Yo, what's poppin'? It is literally November and it feels like summer. It's like 70 degrees out here, the sun is shining, it is awesome. I'm literally wearing sandals right now. And today, as you can see, I'm taking out my kayak and we're going out on this lake and we're chasing bass. To be honest, I only brought Ned Rig gear. I'm banking on the fact that the Ned Rig's gonna catch me fish. So I get a question a lot of times what my favorite baits for the Ned Rig are besides the Finesse TRD. And that, my friends, is exactly what today's video is about. When people think of the Ned Rig, they think of this bait right here, a little 3-inch stick bait. My definition of a Ned Rig is basically any soft plastic in the 2.5 to 3.5 inch range on a lightweight jig head. And so because of that definition, obviously it doesn't have to look like this. You know, it could be like a minnow type shape, it could be a crayfish type shape, it could be a swim bait, it could be lots of different things. So today I'm not gonna fish with any stick baits, I'm only gonna fish with different profile lures, and I'm gonna show you that the Ned Rig is far more than just this right here. Now, before we get started, you might be wondering, Ethan, why would you want to switch it up? This thing works so dang good. Well, there's a couple reasons why you might want to change it up. Number one, you might want a little bit more vibration. Something like a swim bait obviously has a little bit of paddle and it's gonna kick up a little bit more water. Number two, you might want to change up the rate of fall. If you want it to sink pretty fast, a Finesse TRD is obviously a great bait for that. But if you want to slow it down, you might use something more buoyant, maybe something with some appendages just to slow that rate of fall. And then the other thing is, you might want to match the hatch a little bit better. Obviously, a little stick bait like this can mimic lots of different bait. That being said, if you've got a ton of crayfish, maybe you want to use something that looks exactly like a crayfish, so on and so forth. So ultimately, my point is, a Ned Rig does not have to look like this to catch fish, and hopefully today we can prove that. What do you say we get out on the water and go chase some bass? Let's go. Man, it is so nice out. I'm thinking we ought to be able to catch some fish. I mean, the water's definitely cold, but at the same time, this nice warm sun, I gotta believe they're gonna be actively feeding. Just because it's so nice, I don't even mind. I'm literally gonna stick my toes in the water. It's that nice, people, I'm telling you. So I've got two rods with me today rigged up with Ned Rigs. The first one I'm actually gonna throw is a Megabass Spark Shad. It's like a green pumpkin color with a fire red mule jig, 1/16 ounce. Aside from the Finesse TRD, small swim baits are one of my favorite things for the Ned Rig. You know, when I fish these small swim baits, I rarely just reel them in. I fish it exactly the same way I would a Finesse TRD. What's nice is it's got a little bit of a tail kick, and so it just allows those fish to pick up on it just a little bit easier. I don't think there's a specific swim bait that I necessarily recommend. Ultimately, what I look for is something that's gonna easily activate that tail. So I don't want something that's gonna require a lot of resistance to make that tail kick. I want something with a really subtle finesse tail, kind of like this Spark Shad. Fish. That took very little time. It is a dink, but it's a fish. I'm very thankful. Good start to the day. Hook set of the century, boys. Dinks need internet appreciation too. You're going on Instagram, fella. All right, see ya, buddy. I'm glad to see that the Ned Rig is in fact gonna work today. Now the question is, can we find any size? I gotta be honest with you, I've come to this lake a couple times recently and I usually only catch dinks. That being said, I just am holding out on the fact that I do believe there's gonna be some solid fish in here. This lake's not like huge, but it fishes really big. So I feel like I could come here 10 times in a row and always fish something a little bit different. And that's why I like to keep coming back, because I'm having a lot of fun trying to break it down. You know what I love about the Ned Rig? You can fish it all 4 seasons and it's always effective. I feel like it really shines in cold water though. This lake has recently flipped over. I can smell it and I can kind of see it. So I'm gonna try to find an area that's not as affected by this. This seems like this is a little too stagnant here. There's a fish. This point looked too good. That's another dink. Like I said, we're probably gonna have to weed through a few of these. This lake has so many small fish. Little homie, see you, buddy. Well, I thought there'd be more bass on this point, but it doesn't seem to be happening, so I'm gonna keep moving and grooving a little bit. So I've just pedaled over to a stretch where I've literally never fished before, so I have zero idea what to expect, but I gotta believe we'll be able to find some fish. If not, at the bare minimum, we'll learn something about this lake, which is always a good thing. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and switch to my other rod. So this right here is like a shad pattern and it's a TRD minnows. So it's a little bit different shape. The other thing that's different about it is that I don't think it has any salt content at all. So it's extremely buoyant. So this thing like stands straight up on the bottom. It's gonna have a little bit slower rate of fall than a traditional stick bait. That being said, I've got it on a 3/32 ounce mule jig, so it'll get down there pretty quick. This is a pretty steep bank. So I'm sitting in 18 foot and I can literally see where it's about 5-6 feet deep and there's just a big drop and there's a lot of vegetation along the side of it. There's a fish. I figured there'd be some here. And it's better than the last couple. It's still a dink, but it's better than the last couple, so we're at least making moves in the right direction. All right, little dingus, but I love you, little dingus. Man, he's cold. That little TRD minnows, man. He liked it. All right, see you, buddy. Okie dokie Pinokie. That fish was probably, I don't know, maybe 7-8 foot of water. There's a little bit of a area which extends out right here. It's kind of like an underwater point, and he was right on that interior side of that underwater point, right along the grass. So the question is, will there be more right there? Usually when I catch fish in a location like this, they're grouped up, but so far the fish have been pretty scattered. Can't tell me there was just one single fish on this little point. We haven't caught 2 fish in the same area yet. I'm definitely confused by that, I gotta be honest. Okay, I need to figure out where I wanna go. I'm gonna go ahead and switch plastics. I'm not super feeling this one. I'm gonna use what's known as the Hula sticks. This is a little bit darker color. This is pretty similar to a traditional stick bait. The difference is it's got a little bit of like a tube-like tentacles at the back. This is about as big of a plastic as I'd go on what I'd consider a Ned Rig. Those tentacles just have a little bit of flutter to them. What do we got here? This little buddy bit it and started swimming right at me. I didn't even know I had a fish for a second there. All right, little buddy. Thanks for ending my dry streak there. Dink alert, dink alert, dink alert, dink alert, dink alert, dink alert, dink alert. Woohoo! All right. Dink life. Man, that guy slurped it. Old homie in the background blowing leaves, and I'm just catching dinks. I don't know what to do to catch big fish, but I guarantee you this. I'm good at catching fish that are all identical size. Every single fish I've caught has been like a twin of the last fish I caught. Even if I catch a fish double the size of that fish, it's still a dink. That's the sad thing. That's how you know you're good at catching dinks. Here's a good lesson. If you find vegetation like this, don't fish it. It's all dead and it's probably sucking all the oxygen out of the water. So I'm gonna leave this spot because I'm not feeling that brown, dirty vegetation. It's not good stuff. I don't like it. Let's keep moving. Gotta catch up with them. Is it gonna be a dink? It sure is. Woohoo! Dink City, baby, let's go. I am the mayor of Dink City. All right, see you, buddy. Dink City. Now here comes the comments. Ethan, if you want to catch donks, maybe you should throw something other than a Ned Rig. Well, my friends, no, Ned Rig for life. Okay, quick update. I gotta say, I'm having a lot of fun out here. Obviously, I'm only catching small fish. I've said that about 1,000 times, but I'm happy. You know, it's like I've shown 3 different baits that can technically work on the Ned Rig. I'm probably gonna switch it up again and just kind of show you a few other baits that I like to throw, but ultimately, some of the ones that I've shown you are some of my favorites. I guess my question for you is, what is your favorite bait to throw on the Ned Rig? Comment below. There's still a lot of baits out there that I should try at some point, and I probably will, but you know, I've just got so much gear that sometimes I feel silly acquiring more gear. All right, fingers crossed we can run into a donk today, but no matter what, let's have some more fun with the Ned Rig. Let's go. I'm gonna go back to that little spark shad. It looks so juicy. Oh my gosh, this person is nuts. I don't care that it feels great outside. It looks like he's wearing like a wetsuit that cuts off at the knees. That guy's a maniac. This water is not near warm enough to be water skiing. I mean, hey, respect, I guess. He's got to be freezing his huevos off, man. Whew. There he is. That actually feels like a better fish. Oh yeah, much better. Much better. All right. You know, he's not a giant by any means, but he's way, way, way bigger than the last couple fish we've caught. He's kind of got a weird damaged tail. I'm not sure what that's all about, but thank you so much for the fight, buddy. All right, well that fish bit while it was sinking, so that implies he's suspended, which makes total sense this time of year. I don't know what I think about this spark shad. I feel like it's doing pretty good. A lot of people have recommended that I use this bait. It definitely has a unique swim. It's different than a lot of swim baits that I've used as far as kind of the way that the belly kind of sits in the water. It's just a different look for sure. There he is. I knew there'd be one here. Again, it's definitely bigger than the first couple, but it's still a dink. It's a little chunker. I will say this, the spark shad's handling these fish pretty well. It hasn't ripped at all, so I'm feeling good. I refuse to only catch 1 bass on this point. I refuse. Every single other fish I've caught, I've only caught 1 per location. I'm gonna catch 2 fish on this spot, I believe. I knew it. All right. 2 fish in 1 location. Finally it happened. And they're twins. I'm gonna call this one Jim Bob. What's up, Jim Bob? All right, Jim Bob, you're a little guy, but I love you. See ya, Jim Bob. 2 fish in 1 spot. I'll take that as a win, finally. Both of those fish, honestly, they bit the same way. I looked at my line and I'm like, why isn't it sinking anymore? It's deeper there. And so I'm like, I'm pretty sure a fish bit it on the way down. So yeah, both of those fish bit it on the fall. Probably suspended around these grass edges, looking for easy meals. And by golly, this little swim bait Ned Rig looks like an easy meal. As much fun as I'm having with this spark shad, I want to try something else, just because today's video is all about showing you the versatility of the Ned Rig. Hula sticks caught me a fish, but I'm not really feeling this one anymore. This is the TRD Bugs. This one's in Canada Craw. I really like that Canada Craw color. The reason I would choose something like this is because it's a bulkier bait, yet it's still super small profile, so it's really going to do a good job of mimicking small crayfish, small bluegill, so on and so forth. I've just got that rigged on that 3 32 ounce black mule jig. Looks really good. First cast with it. All right, well, that's maybe the smallest fish of the day. Well, no, it's about the same as pretty much all the other ones. But hey, I tell you what, first cast with the TRD Bugs, that's good. I had a feeling this little profile would work. Little homie, why is this lake so chock full of 6-inch bass? But my head keeps telling me, Ethan, go fish this lake. You're gonna catch a big one. Aw, there's a kitty out on that dock. Hey, kitty. Oh, there we go. There we go. What do we got here? Hey, he's a dink, but he's bigger than a lot of the dinks we've caught. Oh, that's an easy release. I don't know why I try to land fish like that, hold my line and just let them hang there and shake their head. That's literally the dumbest thing you could do. I don't know if that cat already has a name, probably does, but as far as I'm concerned, I'm gonna name him Ned. All right, you guys probably can't see him, but look, oh, there he goes. See you, Ned. Ned, it was nice seeing you. All right, well, Ned doesn't like me, but that's okay. There we go. Okay, well, we just caught a crappie. And he completely choked it too. Well, that's the value of the Ned Rig, my man. I definitely didn't expect to catch a crappie, but I tell you what, I'll take it. You know what? I had a total blast out here. I was hoping to catch a couple decent bass, but it never really happened. That being said, I caught plenty of fish, so I'm not gonna complain at all. I don't necessarily think there was a hot bait today because I caught fish on everything I threw. It didn't really seem like color made a huge difference. It didn't really seem like profile made a huge difference. I definitely think the spark shad was what I was most confident in though. This thing is pretty cool. I like this little bait. I'm gonna keep fishing with this thing. I think it has potential. Regardless, hopefully this video showed you that a Ned Rig is more than just a stick bait. It really is a bait that you can fish so many different plastics on, as long as they are small and finesse. It seems like a lot of you are always interested in what gear I throw my stuff on, so let me show you my rod and reels real quick. The spark shad I threw on this 7'6" medium light medium Diaweta Hula. You know, this rod isn't what I would necessarily prefer for Ned Rigs, but it does a pretty good job. Traditionally, I like medium light just a little bit better, but what I like about this is that it's super long. I can make long casts, and I can bury the hook on a super long cast, or I can bury the hook pretty well in deep water. This is quickly becoming one of my favorite rod and reels, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's spooled up with bright green 10-pound braided line, and then it's got a 7-pound fluorocarbon leader. And then the rod that I threw lots of different Ned Rigs on, you've seen it 1,000 times if you've been watching my channel. This is my old 6'10" mag light drop shot rod. I use it for Ned Rigs, it crushes it. It's an old discontinued G Loomis GL2, and then I've got it spooled up with the exact same line as the other rod and reel. Okay, I'm on dinner duty. I gotta go home and cook some cheeseburgers. I'm very much excited for my cheeseburgers because I freaking love cheeseburgers. What American doesn't like a cheeseburger? I mean, I guess if you're vegetarian, you probably don't like cheeseburgers, but to be fair, like if you're vegetarian and you were to eat a cheeseburger but not know it was meat, you'd probably be like, dude, that was really good. Yeah, don't lie to me. Don't lie to me, you vegetarians. You would like it. Yeah, I don't know. Why did I just start ranting about that again? Okay, last but not least, I just gotta say one more thing. Ned Rig for life, baby. Let's go.